Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 24 hours for the day of 1386 for the 10th of December. And sorry, that's my WhatsApp. And as usual, like I said, there's family friends in my house, so it might get a bit noisy as my microphone might pick up noise from other people. So anyway, over in Yarova, so I'm gonna turn off the black box first. Over in Yarova, there is this. So this is actually the Oskil front. Oskil is over here. So the Russian forces has been geolocated in Yarova, and but however we do not know how they got there. So I have a very conservative mapping, just a very straight line from where they were at Novoselivka. So advance just like this, a very straightforward one. So I think I need to push this a bit to the left. So just a very simple one, because I cannot just assume that the Russian forces have taken the rest of Yarova. Like this will be the very huge claim. So I'm not doing that. So we're just going to focus on this one. And but this means that they are super near to Sviatohursk. They were talking about like 2 kilometers from Sviatohursk. And anyway, there's a lot of forest. So it's not going to be so easy to just clear out the whole place. So we will just see how this goes. The advance here from the confirmed line is 4.81 kilometers. From the Russian claim line is around 2.6 kilometers. So nevertheless, we shall continue to wait and see how this goes. After this frontline change, the next frontline change is over at Dibrova. Similarly, this is actually also a geolocation. So this is south of Liman, this Liman or Krasny Liman, Crispy Lemon. Over at Dibrova, we have geolocation of Russian forces at this position. Again, it's very hard to tell exactly where and how they got here. And I cannot just take the Russian mapping for what it is, because the Russians have their own claims. So I just again draw a very simple straightforward triangle into where the previous front lines were. But this is a lot bigger because of how I look at this situation. I think that I think it's okay, it's perfectly still fine to draw out like this, because the front line is pretty big. There was a few pointy places. So we shall see how this goes. So the Russians have entered into Dibrova. We shall see how this continues to play out. The advance here is around 2.5 kilometers from the confirmed front line. So that's all from Dibrova. The next front line change is over in Siversk. So this is in the south of Siversk, and this is actually by the Ukrainian mapping. Actually, the link is wrong. This is by Deep State UA. So Deep State UA has mapped that the southern part of Siversk in this section is taken by the Russian forces. So the advance here is around 300 to 400 meters. This corroborates part of the Russian claims. The Russian claims a bit further. So this is just signs of how Siversk is actually collapsing. Pray for Siversk. So unless you don't care, unless you are pro-Russia, so then don't need to pray for Siversk. So anyway, I don't even know where I'm sitting here. Where's my head should be. So anyway, over in Plishevka, over at the Konstyantynivka front. So this is Konstyantynivka. Some people told me that I need to zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, so the Konstyantynivka. Over in the southeast of Konstyantynivka, over at Plishevka. So this is based on a Russian claim. So Russian mapping have mapped that they have taken Plishevka as per the Russian mapping, Russian declaration as well. So that is the Russian mapping. I don't have much to say about this. I mean, this is not impossible that the Russians have taken off this position, but this is not corroborated. The advance here is around 800 meters. So that's Plishevka. And after Plishevka, the next frontline change is over in Minokhrad. So at Minokhrad, we have quite a number of frontline changes. So there is overlapping on some of the previous days mapping. So I'll just explain a little bit. The first one is geolocation of Ukrainian forces over here. This is actually a Russian airstrike on Ukrainian position, which means the Ukrainians actually have this area here, contradicting Russian claims that they have taken this part of Minokhrad. So of course, we do not know if that could be a footage that is actually days ago, or maybe a week ago, or late, or is this just really actually just happened? We don't know. So we have to map based on our methodology. Since it's coming out now, we just map it as is. If we have new evidence, we just invalidate it and update the latest mapping. No, like I said, this not like I map it and suddenly Ukraine in reality have that place, or the Russians have that place. No, this is just trying to get a reflection of what is the most likely situation right now on the ground. It's not reality. This is just referencing. So take it, just chill. Sometimes I see people take it very seriously. It's like, come on, you're not fighting in the war. The advance. So if there is the change is 900 meters, it's not an advance. I would say it's more like more towards like an invalidation of Russian claims. So and that also invalidates some of my my mapping, because I mapped a very straightforward frontline change like this previously, but this cuts into the frontline change. So we shall see how this goes. And then the next frontline change is this piece here. This one is also a pretty big piece. It's also a geolocation. Russian forces geolocated over here. So just to take into context, Ukrainians was airstrike at this position. So Russians are now at this position. So but the situation in the south is much, much worse. So I think so I've mapped it in a very generous way for the Russians as we close down the entire southern part of Minograd and awarded this to the Ukrainians. This comes at the same time with another mapping which has come from the Deep State UAs. I mentioned this during the situation report. The Ukrainian mapping have updated that they have lost the entire southern part here, which includes Ray. So Russian forces captured Ray and had taken all the grounds in the south of the railway line. And then this includes also the entire southern part of Minograd. So all of these areas here is already considered by the Ukrainian side. This is the neck, and this is the southern part of the northern half of Minograd. So the Russians are there. So because of this trend of Russian forces is already advancing, which is why I would be willing to actually take a judgment call regarding this frontline change around here. However, it's still important to note that the Ukrainians are getting airstrike on the eastern part of the northern part of Minograd. So this is just a bit of context into how to interpret the map. So if I zoom out, you can see this is Minograd. So this entire more than half of Minograd is now in our mapping officially under Russian control. So yeah, the battle is merely over for the northern part of Minograd. So yeah, so hope you get it. One last frontline change is over at Pihorodne. Another one of these Russian forces geolocated in a new position. So this is again a geolocation. Russian forces entered into Novo Pihorodne. I have from the Molodetsky direction. I have also mapped it rather in a more conservative way. I mean, this is just as good as it can get. It can get for the way how I map it. So Russian forces entering into Novo Pihorodne. The advance here is around 900, almost 1 kilometer. So a very straightforward update. So that's it. So we're going to use this as a background, Minograd as a background as we calculate the total area captured by the Russian forces. Ukrainians have captured 0.45 square kilometers, which is this bomb, the airstrike inside of Minograd. The Russians yesterday captured 21.78 square kilometers. So let's count about today. Today is 3.28. Oops, 28 plus 9.22 plus 1.81 plus 10.92. Total area capture is 25.23 square kilometers. So it's pretty decent. It's also important to note there's only 4 front lines that has frontline change, which means there are still other front lines that is not reflected into this mapping. So we probably will see more in the days to come. Minograd is in deep shit. I think it's gonna not do well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. Happy birthday to you if your birthday today, and check out the the latest war footages coming out from the Thailand and Cambodian conflict. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Subscribe.